All right, let's see what it do. All right, hold on 1 second, fam. We're going to see what it do when it do it and how it do it in a minute. Hopefully, if I can get it right. I think I can get it right. All right, greetings, family. Greetings. How's everyone doing? Of course, y'all already know this is your brother, Professor Griff, right here on the Masses. Black Power Media Reloaded. Shout out to Kalanji. What's good with you, good bro? Really appreciate you. As always, we making some things happen. All right, hold on for a second. Let me bring some things down here. Let me open up some other things. Let me move some other things over. Let me get these other things out of the way so I can get to this. Dang. Oh, turn. All right. Dang. Wrong camera. Man, how you wake up at 5 in the morning and you still got everything wrong? Camera. That's the camera right there. All right. Apologize for my tardiness, family. All right, I'm on point now. Got it figured out. Got it mapped out. All right, peace. All right, I think I'm black on. And I said to myself, I'm gonna do a very short show. I'm gonna make sure that the information is out there that needs to be out there. I'm going to make sure that I give props to where props is due and give credit to where credit is due on a particular show like this. The show is the erasure of black media. And what does it refer to? It refers to what? I forgot my question mark at the end of that. But does it refer to? In your eyes, from where you're sitting, what does that refer to when it talks about the erasure of black media? Now, I can honestly say that when you start talking about, hold on, I want to play this. I can honestly say when it comes to black media, there's a few things and a few people and a few programs that stick out. Let me see if I can remember off the top of my head. Matter of fact, why am I even doing that? I got a whole computer in front of me. I can figure that thing out with. Hold on for a second. All right. Anyway, meantime, between time, shout out to everyone that's joining me. I do have a few commercials I need to play to get people to kind of know what's going on a little bit later on. But today I want to talk about black news channels. And I think social media is kind of taking over. All right. So we have a plethora of black news channels that are out there right now. So let me bring everyone up. All right. Brian, peace. What's good with you? Let me know who's checking in real quick. Eugene Mason, what's happening? Gerald, what's happening with you, good bro? Frankie Young. All right. Quaku, what's good with you? All right. I'm going to play a couple of commercials. I'm going to go get me some water. And so I can let me clear my throat. You understand what I'm saying? And then we're going to get black. Actually, we're going to dive into this subject, which I think is a very, very, very timely subject, if I do say so myself. But in the meantime, in between time, tonight I would normally do Writer's Row. All right. But since it's an unholy day, this is Labor Day, and you should be looking at the Pullman Porters. All right. Pullman Porters. Look that up. Pullman Porters, on how the Labor Day actually got started. Of course, y'all want to know that you'll need to know they're trying to give credit to them other people. But come on. Let's go back into history and look at when the Pullman Porters were doing their thing and came together under a union, came together. All right. And who was responsible for the Pullman Porters coming together. Shout out to Khalid El Hakim, Dr. Khalid El Hakim in the Black History 101 Mobile Museum. All right. So let me play a couple of commercials for you. And matter of fact, let me stop sharing real quick. Let me play a couple of commercials from you, and I'll be right back and we'll jump into this conversation about the erasing of Black media news sources. All right, and of course, if y'all seen the flyer, who did I have on the flyer? Byron Allen. Shout out to Byron Allen. And these gentlemen that I'm going to mention, I love, honor, and respect all of them right across the board for different and various reasons. But I can mention Byron Allen. All right. I can mention Phil Scott. I can mention Dr. Richie. Who else did I have on the flyer? I think I had come on, fam, help me out. Did y'all see the thumbnail that I had out? I had up. Who did I have on? Roland Martin, I think. Someone. Yeah, and then I had some sisters on there, I think. I had some sisters hidden off in the background. So anyway, in the meantime, between time, I had Phil Scott's whole staff on the African diaspora. All right. So shout out to the Black women in Black news media. Let me play a couple of commercials and then I'll be right back at you. Okay. All right.
Greetings, family. This is Professor Griff, and welcome to Writer's Row, where the pen meets the people and consciousness sparks conversation. This week's guests, Nwebe, Nshangi, and Crystal Yahweh. This week, right here, with your host, Professor Griff, right here on Writer's Row, where we explore the depths of literary consciousness. Stay tuned. We will see you Monday night, 9 p.m. Thank you. Peace. Greetings,
family. This is Professor Griff, and this is the Serious Minds Brain Tonic. The Serious Minds Brain Tonic was created to sharpen the mind by protecting the cells and increasing the neurotransmitters associated with learning and memory. You can order the Serious Minds Brain Tonic right here on www.debbiestrywellness.com and or text me 678-557-2919. Peace. Greetings, family. This is Professor Griff, and this is the series.
Greetings, family. This is Professor Griff. I want to take this moment to thank everyone for supporting me in my efforts to raise the vibratory pitch of your thinking into your higher self. Thank you very much in my efforts right here on Serious Minds RNTV and the masses. All power to all the people. Thank you very much. If you would like to continue supporting, and if you are a new listener, please support by giving your donations right here on my Cash App, $ Professor Griff, and or go to www.professorgriff.me. Thank you very much. Peace. All power, all the people.
Peace, family. This is Professor Griff. Join me tonight at 9 o'clock. We're going to pop right on up and we're going to break down and decode my book, Symbology. We're going to go over the sex, the drugs, the violence, the Illuminati, much, much more. Hit me up at 678-557-2919 for the payment link and the registered link. Hit me up, 678-557-2919. Pop up tonight at 9 p.m. We're breaking down and decoding symbology. Remember, 678-557-2919. Hit me up now. Peace, family. This is Professor Griff. Join me tonight at 9 o'clock. We're going to pop right on up and we're going to break down and decode my book, Symbology. We're going to go over the sex, the drugs, the violence, the Illuminati, much, much more. Hit me up at 678-557-2919 for the payment link and the registered link. Hit me up, 678-557-2919. Pop up tonight at 9 p.m. We're breaking down and decoding symbology. Remember, 678-557-2919. Hit me up now. Peace. All right, greetings. Shout out to everyone that participated in the African American experience, the musical experience downtown Raleigh, North Carolina. This weekend it happened. All right. Shout out to my man DJ Nabs. Shout out to Jay. Really appreciate you for all the hard work you do, sis. All right. Shout out to the Southern Brothers. All right. Southern Brothers was in the building. All right. Had a beautiful conversation with a few people. Shout out to my man DJ Terminator X. My man Greg Dent showed up. All right. So shout out to everybody that was in the building. And shout out to my beautiful wife, Miss Soleil, did her thing with Ashia Karana as the hype goddess. And of course, OG Saucy was in the building. Saucy's a bit much. Saucy's shout out to Saucy. All right, and then of course the Dream Weaver, and of course TD Stories in the building also. All right. Once again, shout out to my man DJ Nabs. Thanks for the invite. Good, bro. Really appreciate you. But today's show gonna be really, really, really quick. Not long. There's a few things that we have to discuss. All those individuals that I've mentioned. All right. Oh, I forgot to say, tonight is gonna be the pop-up. All right, it's a donation pop-up. Just donate to the cause. We pop up. We talk about breaking down and decoding aspects of this book, because I said I would. I was going to get into subliminal manipulation. I was going to talk about sex, drugs, rock and roll. I was going to decode some of the symbols that we see every day, from banks to food restaurants to cartoons to energy drinks to some of the symbols that the MCs and rappers are using, to department stores, automotive companies. I was just going to kind of dive into this whole Illuminati thing and break down the symbols and the who's who coming from my book, Symbology, which is the Psychological Covert War on Hip Hop book 2. All right. It's a reference book of subliminal seductive manipulation of consciousness in cultural retrograde. All right. Tonight, 9 o'clock, right here. It's a private Zoom call, so you're going to have to. All right. You're going to have to get the link. You're going to have to get the link. All right, fam. So, yeah, I'm going to go to the chat. I'm going to put my phone number in the chat. Text me. Just put, look, I want to pop up. I'll send you the link and pop on up. Let's make it happen. All right. All right. We're doing a pop-up tonight. All right, 9 o'clock, right here. Private Zoom. It's a private Zoom meeting. All right. Let me see if I can kind of pull some of this stuff up real quick. See if it'll allow me. It's acting up. I see it already. So we start talking about black news. All right. What comes to mind? Does the Breakfast Club come to mind? Does Mark Lamont Hill come to mind? Do Byron Allen come to mind? Does GBN come to mind? What comes to mind when we talk about the Black News Hour? What comes to mind? And let me just put this out there. Everyone that I'm mentioning right now, I have a high level of respect for, simply because I know and understand their job, and I know and understand that it's not easy to be a journalist in black media, fighting against and up against what we're fighting up against. All right. So if you just go online and you put in who controls the media, who controls the MEDIA, the multi-ethnic destruction in America. All right. The media is run by a small number of powerful media conglomerates and a growing number of billionaires who own large corporations and individual news outlets, including Fox Corporation, Comcast, Disney, and companies owned by Rupert Murdoch, Jeff Bezos, and Elon Musk. The concentration of owners allow for significant control over the media content and structure within a small number of companies, controlling a vast majority of television, radio, newspapers, and online sources. All right. Your news media outlets. Who controls them? All right. It's simply being controlled by a handful of people. All right. Just about as many people as can fit in your bedroom. That's who controls everything that we see, hear, touch, taste when it comes to information. So if your information is coming from a handful of people, do you think, first question, do you think they have the capability and the capacity to control what goes in your mind, and they're able to determine what comes out of your mind? All right. If they're controlling the vast majority, all right. So then if the Murdoch family Rupert Murdoch's family holds a significant ownership in Fox Corporation, News Corp, Wall Street Journal, New York Post, HarperCollins. I could go on and on. And then Comcast owns NBC Universal, including network NBC, MSNBC, CNBC. Walt Disney Company controls brands like ABC, ESPN, and FX. And then National Amusement owns Paramount Global. So if all of them got together, which is about 5 or 6 people got together in one smoke-filled back room, they can determine everything that you see and hear in the media. All right? Who owns the infamous Washington Post? Jeff Bezos. Who owns Twitter, X, which is now X, and some of these other platforms on social media? Elon Musk. All right? So can you consider them the mafia consolidation? The concentration of ownership is a key aspect of media consolidation, leading to a few large corporations controlling most major media outlets. You thought you was getting away by saying something slick on TikTok. Well, look into the back room and who owns TikTok. All right, Instagram. All right, and some of these other kind of media conglomerates. All right. So when we start talking about getting permission from the FCC, then we could flip the coin and figure out who's giving permission to allow what to go on. You mean to tell me the last mass shooting that happened at a Catholic school and all the information that that demon was putting up on his social media on YouTube, that didn't get flagged? He had guns and gun mags with messages written on it, and he had a manifesto and the whole bit. They didn't flag that. But let Professor Griff come on here and lay out the vast majority of the people that own Pornhub and some of these other fans only and some of these other people. They would ban me and shut my channel down in a heartbeat. Am I right or wrong? So some people can say and do and get away with, and I guess some people can't. Some people can say and do and get away with, some people can't, depending upon what you're saying. If I put a chart up right here in front of you, matter of fact, I think they already have it. Hold on. I just put in Google, who controls the media. I read you a little small bit. They even got thing where you could just play it now. Hold on. You can play the information in case you're blind. All right. See, listen.
Comcast, Disney, and companies owned by Rupert Murdoch, Jeff Bezos, and Elon Musk. This concentration of ownership allows for significant control over media content and structure, with a small number of companies controlling a vast majority of television, radio, newspapers, and online sources. Major corporate
And you could let it play and it'll read it to you. They said they designed that for blind people that just cannot read the news, so you can hear the news. Beautiful thing, beautiful concept. I get it. I get it. I got you. But now, when you start going and asking for the images, you might be able to pull up an image and you'll just get a list of people that are interwoven with one another. It don't have to be a whole bunch of people to set a media revolution off. All right. Now, there's a couple of people, a couple of organizations that operate outside of that. My question today is, what are the Black news media sources that have reliable news that we could go to them to get our information? All right. Who are those individuals? All right. So I mentioned Dr. Richie on Indisputable Truth. I believe that's the name of his program. Hold on. Let me make sure I get it right. I want to give the brother the credit. Met that brother, man. He's a solid, well-rounded, grounded, smart, intelligent individual. All right. Someone said, you want to add on a couple of goddamn adjectives? I'm like, no, that's about enough. You understand what I'm saying? But I'm sure he has more. If you find a good news source, by all means, family, Support it. Become a member. Like I would like for you to become a member of the Serious Cipher or the Alchemical Cipher. You understand what I'm saying? Or the Wisdom Keepers. I would like you to come in and say, I got $5 every month, Griff. I want to get in some of the Zoom classes. I want to get in some of the things that you have on and offline. All right. Okay. So let's try to do that. Everyone that I'm mentioning, yeah, please give them your support. Dr. Indisputable, pardon me, Dr. Rashad Ritchie. All right, truth and facts are what viewers can expect from Indisputable with Rashad Ritchie on the show. Dr. Rashad Ritchie delivers a heavy dose of fact-based truth. And I like the way he delivers his thing. He might spend a few minutes on something, then he has someone coming on to give their comment about it, then he's off. Because no one understands our attention span is not that long. But that's just one individual that I'm highlighting. But let me say this. Phil Scott does a whole different kind of show. Roland Martin does a whole different kind of show. What's the brother? The Black Truth does a whole different kind of show. I'm saying to as many people as on social media, all right? And you know and understand you cannot trust media, MEDIA, multi-ethnic destruction in America, all right? I'm saying to you, we should be looking towards these individuals that are bringing to us indisputable, undeniable truth. All right, that we can get the facts from them so we can be well informed about some of the things that we're doing. All right, so now, if we was to go on further to talk about, hold on. Hold on for a second. Let me see if I could do this here. Okay. All right. So if the news is supposed to give us and inform us, what are we being informed about ourselves? All right. And if we keep hearing the same disrespectful facts about Black people, there was something that Dr. Reverend Phil Valentine sent me the other day, in which I already saw it, and I sent it out to some other people. I'm not sure if a lot of people saw it. A little young white kid, probably about 12, 13-year-old, dropping some facts about Black people and Black history, trying to inform other white people about this whole idea of 13% of the population being Black. He kind of crushed that. Young white kid. All right. It's circulating around social media. All right. Yeah, someone is sending me some information. I say, yeah, find you one and support, or find two. You can support Phil and you can support Dr. Rashad Ritchie. All right. You could go and check out Mark Lamont Hill, or you could go King Simon's channel and Brother Rich's channel and stay focused on that. But find you a place that you can support so they can keep their platforms up and going. All right. So when we talk about Black news, with all the disparaging things coming out about Black people, are the Black news front, let me call it the Black news media front, are they coming to our aid? Are they speaking truth to power? Are they feeding the masses of our people information to the point where we can combat the negative information that's being told about us in the major news spin cycles? And vast majority of the time, when you kind of peel one layer back, yeah, the Fox News and the rest of them be lying about Black people. I'm like, wow, that ain't true. So then when I come on to talk about a particular thing, I got to go and look at all these channels on what they're saying about it. All right. Sometimes I get a chance, and the time is afforded me to do that. But yeah, King Simon says, I'm launching a news channel also. Shout out to King Simon. We need news channels out there. All right. I took the other route recently and started highlighting those individuals that are authors, because the information is out there. Like, how would we know who is in the boule? All right. If I'm not contacting this brother and bringing him on next Monday night, him and Crystal. All right. This brother's coming on. He may get a chance to dive into this, but he has a new book out. So yeah. All right. So we need to do that. Mbwebe. All right. And Crystal is coming on next Monday night. All right. So we need news channels to get the information out there. So to all the supporters that support Professor Griff and what I'm doing here on Serious Minds. I call it Serious Minds because my objective was to raise the vibratory pitch of your thinking into the mind of the creator, into your higher self. All right. I think that's very necessary that we do that. Very necessary that we do that. All right. So when I started hearing fake news this and fake news that, who's going to come on and take the fake news, decode it, run it through a filter, and give it back to us the way we should understand it? Shout out to Great Filibuster Peace. What's good with you? Shout out to Quan, wherever you at, Quan. I'm sure you somewhere holding it down. Eugene Mason Peace. What's good with you? So, black news sources, black news media sources. All right. Which ones should we rely on? All right. Which ones are actually giving us factual information that we can rely on? All right. Let's highlight another one. Dr. Phil over at the African Diaspora. Beautiful job. I tune into them a lot. I even, stopped to make a couple of comments about a few things. I'm not sure if the sister dug the comment, but she was like, "Who the hell are you to be telling me?" No, but I'm serious. So, this African Diaspora News Channel. Thank you very much, Phil Scott, for bringing the women together. We need to hear it from the perspective of black women. All right. To any of those individuals out there, just armed with the love for your people and a cell phone that's doing the damn thing and bringing us news. Thank you very much. All right. Thank you very much for doing your due diligence, for making some things happen on the front. All right. All right. So we're talking about, if you're just tuning in, this is Professor Griffin. We're talking about black news media. So is there an erasure going on? Are they trying to erase black media news sources? Now, for example, when I started seeing information coming out of Burkina Faso and coming off the continent of Africa in Mali, Niger, and other places, Chad, Ghana, Nigeria, I said to myself, it's a beautiful thing. But who are we looking to get the news about what's going on in Burkina Faso and other places on the African continent? Can I trust the media to give me accurate information? That's the first question. Can I trust major news outlets to give me factual information that I need to know about my brothers and sisters on the African continent? I've even seen white journalists come and try to explain some stuff that I know that's factual, but having to run it through their non-melanated filter in order for us to give them their stale view of who we are as a people. You understand what I'm saying? Hold on for a second. All right. All right. So if we are going to be able to stay informed, all right, with the information that informs us on how we move, all right, who can we trust when the erasing of Black news media outlets are taking place right now as we speak? Right now, as we speak, this is happening. All right. So who can we trust? Hold on for a second. Let me find. Okay. I'm going to put the invite chat in the link. Black News Channel, blah, 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 blah. Byron Allen, news cable news founded by Jacksonville Jaguars owners, yada, da, da, da. Yeah. Byron Allen is doing big things. It's another gentleman I take my hat off to. All right. Hold on for a second. Reels, da, 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 da. Notifications, create. It said hit create. It said go to the live video feed. All right, I'm only trying to follow instructions here. Oh, okay. All right, I got it. Let me put the invite in. Question is, are they trying to erase Black news media outlets? All right, where are we getting our news from? All right, come on in and talk to me. All right. Back in the day, my mom, sisters had subscription to Jet and Ebony. So we got some news coming in at least every week or every month. Then there was Black radio stations, whether it was bootleg or mom and pop, like WWRL. King Simon, you remember WWRL? We had BLS later on, WWRL. Who else had? Then we had local college stations, all right, that informed us at certain times. All right, and then when Public Enemy came on the scene, we informed people through music, through songs. There were other groups that did that. But on a daily and consistent basis, who are those Black media? Black media. Who was the Black media news outlets? Black media news outlets. And then why is it that they want to suppress information? Why would there be a need to suppress information? Prominent Black media news outlets, national and digital. All right, if y'all want to make some mental notes of this. Atlanta Black Star, a leading Black-owned digital publication founded in 2012. The Root, all right, Black Enterprise, Bossa, BET, HuffPost, Black Voices, Blavity, not sure what that is. The Griot, all right. Then we had Chicago Defender, the Chronicle, Jackson Advocate, Baltimore Times, Black Star News, The Voice News, Inland Valley News, LA Focus. What's Stevie Wonder's radio station out in KJLH? I believe it was KJLH in California, Stevie Wonder's radio station, KJLH, I believe. I'm not sure. Someone help me out with that. King Simon, what's good with you, good bro?
Here looking like Donnie Hathaway.
I know. I see you. or the dude on Bill Cosby's cartoon. What was that?
I'll drink to that.
What's
Yo.
happening with you, man?
Well, you know, I came from WWRL, man. So, you know, we had Bob Law providing the news back in the day, Nightline, and of course, LIB working with Gary Bird and a whole bunch of them back in the day.
Right.
You know, and that's why what you're saying is so important. That's why I'm starting my own news channel called Numerovation News and Views. Real news, but I'm going to come with a metaphysical twist also to show you.
That's deep.
Yeah, how to balance it off. Although it might be negative, even Trump, if he's negative, like I broke down something about Jermaine today about his numbers, Dr. AKA Dr. Umar, and I told him, look, being born on the 21st, it's a positive number of advancement and growth, but the negative is being reckless and scandalous. So I already know what he needed to do to stay wholeheartedly in that vein instead of going down the negative road. So I'm going to show people, even in conscious news and regular world news, because there's a method that we learned on radio back in the day, how to find out the news of the day in history. So I could go back to history or use the news. You can Google this up. It's all Googleable right now, if that's a word. But I learned this when I was on terrestrial radio for so many years as a morning show host.
Right.
You know, so you can find, and it's important for people like you and all Tavis Smiley, all the people that's doing Mark Lamar Hill, doing their thing from their perspective. And if we can't find it on terrestrial radio, then we have to create it on YouTube. We got to create it on TikTok. We got to create it even in the most destructive way, even in the most destructive platforms like OnlyFans. Yo, there's people that's conscious, that's doing conscious stuff on OnlyFans just to throw off the algorithm. Wow. Makes sense. Get to them. Get to them. They ain't going up there naked and dancing. They dropping knowledge on OnlyFans. They dropping wisdom.
Yeah, I'm just unaware. I'll go check it out.
Yeah. Billy Carson has a platform on OnlyFans, dropping the esoteric stuff on OnlyFans, because if that's where you're going to get them, go get them.
Yeah, you got to go where they are. You got to meet them where they are. Yeah.
We was taught that in the Bible. We're not supposed to stay in the church and preach to the regular people that know it already. We're supposed to go out there on the streets.
Right. And then on top of that, like I said, on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I do TikTok, but TikTok is so toxic. There's grown African men arguing with young teenagers from America. There's women on there cursing people out, and I'm like,
it don't matter, Griff. Just keep on doing what you're doing. Because I'm on TikTok too. Just keep on doing what you're doing. That's what Bob Marley said. If the negative people, paraphrasing what he said, if negative people can keep on promoting negativity, then we, the positive ones, have to keep on promoting the positivity 24 hours a day.
Right.
It's gonna get to who it's supposed to get to. You know that.
Yeah. Brian says Joy Reid and Tiffany Cross and all these other cats, they kind of did it to themselves, man. He said it's only tricknology.
Yeah. They're using tricknology.
They're working for them, these other people. But we had rolling out Washington Informer, NBC Black. We had Black Voices News. We had The Shadow. And we had Essence, Cocoa Butter, Black BuzzFeed. We had a whole bunch of black media news. So I'm saying with all of that we have out there, why is it still we allowing the media, the overarching media, to control the narrative about who we are?
I've worked for these platforms before, and although I was on WWRL, I had access to 1010 Wins and all these other people in radio, because Radio Television Museum, we had to be amongst these people when we go to those award shows.
Right.
When we went, Brother Griff, when we went into the meetings, they will tell you that the sexy news is the negative news. That's the sexy news.
Yeah.
Because according to MIT study, like I said on my channel, according to MIT study over 30 years ago, it takes 16 positives to knock out one negative. So if it takes 16 positives to knock out one negative, then that means negative news are very pervasive right now, and we need to offset that. That's why when I watch negative things on television, I still like my adventure movies and my shoot 'em up bang bang movies. But before I go to bed, I'm watching comedy and things that make me laugh.
Right.
Because I don't want to go to bed with the shoot 'em up bang bang in my head.
Right. No, I got you. I think I started recently going to bed with watching information coming off of the continent of Africa, so I can kind of be well versed when I communicate with my brothers over there, because I'm trying to broaden my scope. Eventually, I want boots on the ground in some parts of Africa where I can kind of deal with our people firsthand.
Yeah, man. I mean, they already love. They got your symbol out there in Africa, bro. They got your symbol on the wall, PE symbol on the wall, sir.
Right,
you hear me?
right. And a few people have contacted me right here. Yeah, they said, bro, Griff, if you came over here, they would know you. You understand what I'm saying? Because of the work that you've done, the work that you do.
It's just like back in the day. You remember Khalid used to go when the nation fell. Khalid put on a bid and went over there and worked under the Ugandan president Idi Amin and everybody else and Gaddafi. Sometimes you got to be incognito,
right,
and go behind enemy lines. So going on TikTok, going on OnlyFans and dropping consciousness is behind enemy lines. That's the meaning of FOI, the military training of the men that belong to Islam in North America. And our job is to go behind enemy lines.
Yeah, that's why my first single off my album was Behind Enemy Minds.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. It was Behind Enemy Minds, for real.
That's it, man. Because
Alex Littlejohn says King Simon is wonderful. That's a beautiful sister. Man,
thank you, family. Thank you. You're wonderful too. By that name, Alex Little, you might be related to Malcolm, so stay focused. You might be related to Malcolm, so that's a good name.
I think that's still on her journey to find her tribe, circling back around to herself. So
let me tell her something. Just because of the double T's in her name, that's a master number frequency, 22 and 44. The 44 is telling her to trust in the order of the universe and her journey. And the 22 is telling her to be a master builder, master healer, master teacher with that name Little. And sure enough, Malcolm X became one of those things.
Wow. Okay.
His name was Malcolm Little.
Yeah, I'm sure she'll take that and run with it.
I'm telling her, run with it. That's the name. If you keep in that name, run with it.
Right.
There's nothing little about the word little. Nothing little about it. Nothing little about it.
When I started studying early this morning, I can't, some strange reason, I'm up early, 5, and we all know what goes down at 5. But anyway,
I was up early too.
The idea of the erasure of Black media. If they erase Black media, then who we have to look to for information? Because one of the first things in warfare, when the grid goes down, King Simon, one of the main things is find water, find food, and find communication. But before you find those other things, you got to find a way to communicate, because if you found a way to communicate, they'll tell you where the water and the food is, and the protection and the shelter.
That's right. And that's why I got a book on ham radio, and I'm about to take some classes on ham radio. I ain't playing with this. Aton is teaching the whole class on it. So I need, and Brother Rich is going to take it too. So we can have a ham radio connection, because ham radio can travel all the way across seas, bro.
Right. Yeah,
Once you study and master ham radio and frequency, and when last you talked to Bob Law, you need to get him on your show, man.
I haven't talked to Bob Law in years, man, but someone else told me to come in there. Yeah, give me his number. But satellite radio, communication, and there's another one.
Definitely ham radio, because all of that is ran by ham radio. All of it.
Right.
That's why we got to get the licenses to, at least 4 of us have to have that licenses to operate a ham radio, because they know how valid it is to use that. Right. I just got a book on ham radio too. I have it here. I think it's in my archive. I got to go look at it. I know I got it though. I ain't lose that in storage. So I got it. So I was looking in my archives and I found the book on ham radio and solar power. So, it's very important that we invest those people that are young and listening to you, brother, and listening to me, advise them. That's why I always try to give a positive message on my channel all the time. And now that I'm creating this new motivation news and views, it's going to be, we're going to go hard body, but we're going to be conscientious and give the positive spin to all the negative stuff out there. Got to give them that. It's all about, and metaphysically, from the spiritual realm to the physical. So, and I know your wife is into the metaphysics in her own way. I know she can give me some outlook. So I'm going to have to talk to her on that channel one day. And also you, understand that. So once I I got Phil Valentine coming in as one of my first interviews on there. So I'm going to definitely drop some good wisdom on there. And you mentioned Phil earlier, but Bob Law was one who taught us back in the day about the removal of black radio, especially black terrestrial radio. That's why WWRL is gone, basically.
Wow.
WLIB, they're working on moving that. That's why they move it to gospel first, and they get all of the new stuff off of it, and they move it to religious stuff because they want you to stay in this religious mind without the news. Because if our mind is up in the sky and our eyes up in the sky, what they're doing on the floor is going to be we're going to miss it. They know what they're doing.
Right. So I'm thinking all of the social media,
yes,
black news channels.
Yes.
It can be wiped out in one blip.
That's why we have to have our own, bro. That's why we have to have our own server. That's why ham radio is important.
Are you familiar with the work that what's the name was doing? Byron Allen was doing?
Of course. Of course. He born April 22nd. That man is a master number of what he's doing. Master at what he does with all this communication and all the things, the Weather Channel and all that kind of stuff. Of course.
Yeah.
Man, a comedian now, the quote unquote court jester has now ruled the communication world.
even in comedy, you still communicating.
Exactly. But, everybody look at the comedian as the ancient court jester, don't realizing that same court jester, why he was a court jester to the king is because he had a wise way of how to make the king laugh so he don't kill him. Or make the queen laugh because they won't kill him. Because if you didn't make that king laugh, those court justices get taken out. Right. People know that medieval history. So you can call him
Byron Allen. Allen Media Group is buying the Black News Channel with plans to revive the bankrupt cable news outlet and significantly grow its distribution footprint. All of them are trying to create and have this digital footprint. Allen's company is acquiring substantial all of BNN Black News Channel assets for $1.1 million with a bankruptcy court, Tallahassee, Florida, blah, blah, blah. So they're in bankruptcy court. He's buying it, putting money into it, and reviving its digital footprint, man. In the news area, pardon me. We all know, and you mentioned it just now about the Weather Channel.
That's right.
People don't think that you got to get the weather.
All the time.
It's a solid investment.
All the time. Matter of fact, I'm going to have weather on my channel. I'm going to do that too. I'm going to treat it like radio again. That's all. And keep it at that hour quick and fast and moving. And what I do, the only concerns I have about Byron Allen is because he's born on the 22nd, and 22nd has to be very careful of people, malicious people in the background and secret haters. He could be sleeping with his enemy and don't even know it. And his wife just happens to be a white woman. It is what it is. But we got to think on that level because we got to watch his back. He got to watch his back. And not saying that his wife don't love him, but whoever's around her, she might love him unconditionally, but whoever's around her that might be able to infiltrate and come in through her. He has to be careful because that 22 or any master numbers come with that negative frequency that they got to be careful of deception and secret haters all the time. So that's what I'm trying to tell you. I can offset all that news and find the positive and negative for all of it. Right. All of it. Through numbers.
In my research, it says over nearly 300 outlets across the United States have primarily served Black communities, are cataloged in a few areas, but there are so many news outlets and then subsidiaries of them, and then on the college level. And then now I had a chance to go into media in that way, to be on the air as a personality. Yes. I took the class and everything. And I just said to myself, I'm better off with trying to reach people from my own platform as opposed to giving 2 hours on the air. And then that's all I get. You understand what I'm saying? And they wanted me to play some music, blah, 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 only focusing on that. I'm like, no, someone needs to speak to our people. So I just said, no, I'm better off over here.
And that's why I left. Although they fired me from WWRL because they was making some changes. They were going to the news. You know, they went to the whole news channel. You know, they had the Karen Hunt. I worked with her. Shmuley Botek and the other one there, Rabbi that used to.
Smoothly? No, not Rabbi Smoothly. No.
Rabbi Smoothly, right? Yeah, I worked with them. I was the board operator for them and Steve Malsberg. I was his board operator. And they were some crazy people back in the day, especially Smoothly and Steve. And big up to, you know, Jewish and those two Jewish guys, because they did their work. Karen was on them though. Karen was on them. She stayed on them. And Peter Noel and all these guys. But big up to my man Peter. But I tell people all the time that, you know, it's important that the young people understand communication, not just go up. And I was telling my son, you want to have fun, you want to jump around and get a lot of followers, but at the end of your jumping around and getting a lot of followers, drop some knowledge on them, drop some wisdom on them, drop a little something.
Right.
It's all right. Give them what they want, so they want what you have to give. That's all right.
Right, exactly.
That's what we taught in the nation. Give them some food. Because you can't feed people. You can't feed babies with adult food. That's the truth.
Right. Because you definitely want to keep them coming back.
Exactly.
Yeah. So what do you think about this whole idea of their concerted effort to just straight up get rid of? They're getting rid of people now, off of black people now, off of what's the name? Off of mainstream news sources.
Like Roland Martin and Don Lemon and all that.
Yeah.
They're doing the right thing, jumping on YouTube. They're doing the right thing, jumping on YouTube. But again, we don't own YouTube.
Right.
And that's the problem. And we acting like we can't own something like YouTube. Like my man Isaac Cage Jr. the third, fan base and all that. I'm part of fan base, but it's a little complicated to navigate. So, you know, I would have to talk to, I've hung out with Isaac Cage at the World Trade back in the day. I have pictures with him, but I never met his son. But I wish I could talk to his son and see how we can navigate and make it a little best to navigate better, like Twitter or like a Facebook or Instagram. Because even you want all these people to jump on it. If you want people to jump on it, you got to make it, keep it simple, stupid. So even if they're falling off, even if these guys are being followed, these guys need to come together and form their own network.
Right.
That's all they need to do. Tavis, Roland, whoever else, and Don, whoever. Let them all come together and put their money where their mouth is. Just get off of YouTube and form your own black tube or whatever, you know, melanated tube, whatever.
Right.
Your own.
You can call it copper tube. You can call it.
Yeah, copper tube. Yo, a server costs what? A server costs $10,000 to $20,000 to have your own server. At least that was the price that I heard 10 years ago. It might be more now.
Well, I think it's a lot more than that now.
Yeah, 10 years ago, but yeah, it might be. But they all got the money. And you got the celebrities behind you that like you that got the money.
Right.
You got the celebrity.
So realize, says Griff, Byron Allen's wife, she will turn on him no different than Mr. and Mrs. Smith. It says, I truly think many are married to their handlers.
I wouldn't doubt it. That's why I said like that. That's why I said Byron was born under the numbers that have to be very careful of secret haters to the point that he can be sleeping with the enemy and don't know it. And in the negative, the number 22, if I read it to you from an old numerologist book, sometimes they get caught up in the delusion and the illusions of things.
Right.
And maybe that's his delusion and his illusion until it comes down to the point, especially when they blonde and redheaded. Oh my goodness, them blonde and redheads are dangerous. And not that I know from personal experience, but I've worked I've worked with them. I've worked with them, Professor Griff, at SOBs and different clubs. I've worked with them. They can be vicious.
Yeah.
I've worked with them.
So just to be clear about some things.
Yes, sir.
If the work that people are doing, wherever they come from and however they come, I tend to kind of pull back, zoom out, and look at the work.
You should.
Sometimes people's personal situation, it gets kind of sticky.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? and I don't focus in on that. With what I know, I have a lot to learn from Byron Allen, regardless of who he's related to. You understand what I'm saying? I have a lot to learn from Roland Martin.
That's right.
I don't know that political side like he knows it because I took a different angle. I don't know the Joy Reids and I just don't know them. Have I sat and listened? The Candace Owens, yeah. Have I sat and listened? Of course. Yeah, because I'm a student. I'm a student of information. Hell, I'm a minister of information. So the idea of being rough, rugged, and raw and have a mouthful of condemnation every time I hear something that I don't like, yeah, I think sometimes we need to get beyond that and extract the good out of what people are giving us. You understand what I'm saying?
You're absolutely right. But, you know, again, we used to say, you remember to say the devil is in the details?
Yeah.
But the real saying is God is in the details. Then they changed it over time into the devil's in the details. God is in the details, period. Because if God created the devil according to religious theology, then God is the one that's the detail. He's the detailer.
Didn't he make devil or create it? I don't want to get
created. It's like created. So, you know, and then in the teachings it says make devil. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But again, we still have to. It's still in the back of the mind who might be their handlers, like the person said. Who might be whispering in their ears, like the person said. Who is going to get their all their money when it's finished, and who have the power to destroy it when they die at transition? Right. It's still there.
So I do think digital is the way. I think this is where we need to be to get our people. Listen, exactly. I got to get off of here because I have a studio session with Soleil.
Yes.
Thing happened. She's about to re-release her album.
Congratulations.
Make some things happen. All right. I really appreciate you, bro. Salute, man.
Salute.
All right. Peace. All right. So family, that's my take on it. We're going to double back. Anything that you heard on here that might have been kind of, you know, rough around the edges, just kind of filter it through, extract the information that you need to extract from these conversations and any conversation. There's nothing malicious about it. King Simon laying it out from a numerology perspective, and that's a beautiful thing because we need that. All right. Anyway, it's Professor Griff. I got to get ready to get out of here. Love y'all to life. And let me play a couple of commercials, then I'm gone. All right. Peace. Greetings, family. This is Professor Griff, and this is the Serious Minds Brain Tonic. The Serious Minds Brain Tonic was created to sharpen the mind by protecting the cells and increasing the neurotransmitters associated with learning and memory. You can order the Serious Minds Brain Tonic right here on www.debbiestrywellness.com and or text me 678-557-2919. Peace.
Greetings, family. This is Professor Griff, and welcome to Writer's Row, where the pen meets the people and consciousness sparks conversation. This week's guests, Mbwebe, Nshangi, and Crystal Yahweh. This week, right here, with your host, Professor Griff, right here on Writer's Row, where we explore the depths of literary consciousness. Stay tuned. We will see you Monday night, 9 p.m. Thank you. Peace. Peace, family. This is Professor Griff. Join me tonight at 9 o'clock. We're going to pop right on up and we're going to break down and decode my book, Symbology. We're going to go over the sex, the drugs, the violence, the Illuminati, much, much more. Hit me up at 678-557-2919 for the payment link and the registered link. Hit me up, 678-557-2919. Pop up tonight at 9 p.m. We're breaking down and decoding symbology. Remember, 678-557-2919. Hit me up now. Peace, family. This is Professor Griff. Join me tonight at 9 o'clock. We're going to pop right on up and we're going to break down and decode my book, Symbology. We're going to go over the sex, the drugs, the violence, the Illuminati, much, much more. Hit me up at 678-557-2919 for the payment link and the registered link. Hit me up, 678-557-2919. Pop up tonight at 9 p.m. We're breaking down and decoding symbology. Remember, 678-557-2919. Hit me up now. Peace, family. This is Professor Griff. Join me tonight at 9 o'clock. We're going to pop right on up and we're going to break down and decode my book, Symbology. We're going to go over the sex, the drugs, the violence, the Illuminati, much, much more. Hit me up at 678-557-2919 for the payment link and the registered link. Hit me up, 678-557-2919. Pop up tonight at 9 p.m. We're breaking down and decoding symbology. Remember, 678-557-2919. Hit me up now.
I think I forgot to mention tonight also, if you sign up, give a donation, you will receive my book in the form of an ebook, free, tonight, 9 o'clock. I'll be coming back on Instagram after my session, my recording session, to kind of break down some of the details and some of the things we're going to be going over. But love you all to life. This is Professor Griff. I'm out. Peace.